So the hinges finally came in. I've got my front door clamped all up, and I'm going to go ahead and just slide my hinges up to the lines that I've marked, which you can't see, but I can see just fine. All right, and I'm going to mount them. I actually put it on this side of the line. So I stained the outside before I covered up the pocket holes. That's a bit about putting the cart before the horse, but realistically, since I didn't stain the inside, it's not a big deal. So now I'm just going to go ahead, take a dowel rod and some wood glue and a saw. I'll be plugging up all the pocket holes. You want to turn them till they sink all the way in, and just wipe off the excess wood glue. And take a little saw. In my case, I'm just using this hacksaw blade. That hole's covered. Now I've got to clean off the end of this rod with the saw so it's straight and do the next one. Now at some point your dowel rod is going to get real short. That's what I have left. So in order to make good use of it, I'm going to need this guy. So I won't be able to push down on it and just hammer it in. So take my wood glue, on the bead, probably a little shorter than ideal, but oh well. Probably shouldn't have knocked it in as far as I did, so it's kind of my fault. I've also gone ahead and saved a bunch of these sharp ends I chopped off. So you're going to see what I'm going to do with those now. I'm going to look for one that has a bit of a stick on it still. Some wood glue in there. Now, take this end, slide it in here. Instant plug. Doesn't matter if I spill a little wood glue, so I'm going to sand afterward, but still want to go ahead and get off the excess because this will gum up your sanding paper. With the pocket holes filled, you got to sand out the dowel rod, so I'm just going to take some 80 grit sandpaper and go to town. Alright, now I've gotten the whole inside of this thing stained, and I've even gotten one coat of a sealer on it, the nice satin finish. The last thing that's left is actually for me to go do a second coat. When that's dry, sand it, and then add a third and final coat. Really says to sand between the first and the second coat as well in the instructions, but the first coat is so thin it's almost hard to consider it a coat in my opinion, so I'm going to go ahead and add an extra. So this is the stuff from Minwax that I'm using. It's a clear satin finish. It's pretty good stuff. I've used it before and actually have it on some wood that's outdoors and gets soaked in water every day, and it's held up really well actually. None of that wood's gotten bad, so this is pretty solid stuff. It's an indoor-outdoor sealer, so it's good for that. Well, here goes nothing. Once I got everything stained, I brought the French pleat over to the wall where we're going to be mounting the TV console. Now, with the help of an assistant, you'll have to have them hold it against the wall while you put one of the screws in. Then you put a level in the middle and use the one screw that's holding it up to allow you to, pivot it around and get it to where it's level. You put another screw on the other side of the wall and it's mounted. So now I'm just going to drill more holes and reinforce it. Of course, before I did all of that, I found all the studs with a stud finder, and on this wall, they're all wooden studs, whereas the rest of my house tends to be metal studs, which is awesome because it's a much stronger connection that way as opposed to those thin little sheet metal studs. So I'm just gonna mark out the next holes I'm gonna drill, and I'm gonna put a whole bunch of screws in there to be able to reinforce the weight of the TV console. I'm using 3-inch long screws. Make sure that that is held in real nice and will not be going anywhere. Also, I'm using the vacuum to keep from collecting a mess under everywhere where I drill. Alright, so one thing I forgot to do about this thing is to make some openings for running wires. So I'm gonna amend that right now. I could drill circular holes. You can see the little pass-through right there. I've drilled some other holes for wires. Get as close as you can, alignment-wise. So I went ahead last night and designed and 3D printed these plastic pass-through components. These are basically just going to go in the holes that I drilled for running wires. Just makes, you know, a more professional looking finish where wires are going to go through. There's one of them in place. I just got to do the others. So you see how that gives it a much more professional finish. Just nice little touch, I think. So that's a completed project. I'm going to be tucking wires next and painting baseboards, obviously, because my baseboards are a little worse for wear. But other than that, the project is done and I'm just going to enjoy it.